is because studies show that when you sit there passively, you actually retain about 0 to 10% of the information. That's why I didn't learn anything in school. I didn't write anything down, right? Now studies show that when you physically write things down, whether it's with your pen or on your phone, you actually retain about 40 to 50% of the information. Who's up for retaining 40 to 50% of the information? But there's always the next level. And one of the very reasons why you're in this room is because you want people to hold you to a higher standard of life. True or false? True or false? And so if you want to take it to a superhuman level, if you want to take it to an extraordinary level, we have to keep our body in a learning state, in a peak state. So when I yell out to you, and when I tell you to say things, this isn't to be motivational rah-rah. This is so you retain the information. If that's okay, say yes! Yes! Say yes! Yes! Now you probably know who my mentor is. We'll get into this. We'll get into this, right? There's a few things that I also want to note. The first thing is something that we call the law of exposure. The law of what? Exposure. The law of exposure. And what the law of exposure states is once I'm exposed to a greater way of living life, new information, a greater way to make impact, income, whatever it may be, the moment I'm exposed, I cannot be unexposed. I can't see life the same. So what that basically means, if I took this whole room on a private jet, you'd never want to fly Spirit again. True or false? True or false? Because you've been exposed. So if you're up for being open to being exposed to information that can change your life, just say yes. Yes. All right, we're in the right room here. The other law that I want you to note. Are you getting value so far? Just make sure. The other law that I want you to know is something that we call the law of energy. The law of what? Energy. So good. Look at you learning. It's amazing. The law of energy. The law of energy states that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It only changes form. How many of you know you're an energetic being? Just a show of hands. Right? Right? You're How many of you know you're an energetic being? Now what the law of energy also states is that high energy equals high income. High energy equals high level opportunities. A low level or low energy person will not attract high level opportunities. True or false? A low energy person won't attract high level opportunities, high level conversations, and high level networks. So I'm trying to be a person of high energy so I can have high impact and high income. If you're up for that, say yes. Yes. All right. So those are the few things that I want you to note. Now, if I continue to teach up here without letting you know why I'm so beautiful and why I have no legs or an arm, you won't retain anything because you'll be so focused on my body. So let me tell you what happened. Is that okay? Good. So, in 1996, my parents went in for a late ultrasound. They sat them down, they pulled the baby up on the screen, and suddenly the doctor started freaking out. And they said, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And they said, "Well, from the looks of it, it doesn't look like your baby's limbs are being developed. Looks like he's missing his arms, he's missing his legs, and his face is messed up." Did they lie? They lied. Experts lie sometimes. It's all right. Right? They were the experts. They lied. I'm beautiful. All right? But yeah, you can clap for beautiful. You can clap for that. And they looked at my parents and said, "Mr. and Mrs. Santonastasso, your baby boy has about a 30% chance to live." How many of you are parents in here? Notice it was like... And so they said, "Your baby boy has about a 30% chance to live." And in that moment, my parents made a decision. Someone say decision. Decision. My parents made a decision. You see, oftentimes we think changing our life is this big drastic thing, when in reality, life changes when you decide it changes. True or false? When you decide. Who's up for making some decisions here? Say aye. Awesome. And so in that moment, they made a specific decision. And the decision that they made was that they were going to focus on the 30% chance of me living versus the 70% chance of me dying. The reason being, noted, what I focus on, I get more of. What I focus on, I get more of. What I focus on expands. Most people have problems in their life because all they do is focus on problems. What I focus on expands. What I focus on, I get more of. But most importantly, I had to become a master of focus, because this is the most important part. Is what I focus on, I feel. Note it. What I focus on, I feel. And what I feel is my life. And if what I feel is my life, that would also mean that the quality of my life actually comes down to the quality of the emotions I feel on a day-to-day basis. How many of you know people with a lot of money who are still pissed off and angry? Point to them. No, I'm sorry. No, point, no, I'm just kidding, right? And then how many of you have ever went to Mexico or somewhere, a third world country, and saw a kid kicking the can and he was happier than you? Who's really rich? It's the kid who's experiencing the emotions that he wants to feel on a day-to-day basis, which, by the way, I want you to get the money. Who likes money in here? Anybody? Because if you want to make an impact, you need money. True or false? If you want to cut a check for someone who's in your family that has cancer, who's going to do it? We are. True or false? You want to give back to an organization, who's going to do it? We are. So we need some money, right? So that's what I'm talking about with this whole money thing. So the quality of your life comes down to the quality of the emotions that you feel on a day-to-day basis. And in order to experience specific emotions, you have to master the power of focus. Now, I'm going to share real quickly, before I go into this exercise, two defining moments. Two really big defining moments that changed the trajectory of my life, that put me on this path to mastering psychology and serving others. The first one was a moment in 2017. I knew a kid who moved from New Jersey. Anyone from Jersey? That's amazing. How you doing? And I knew a kid who moved from Jersey to Florida to become a bodybuilder. And he was wanting to become a bodybuilder, and one of his mutual friends said, "Hey man, come to this mastermind. It's like 8 people. You never know who you meet. You never know what will happen." And so this kid, he goes to the mastermind, and everybody's sharing their story. They're like entrepreneurs and stuff. They got businesses. And this kid feels really uncomfortable being in the room. And I said, "Hey, what's your story?" He goes, "I got a long story. You got a long time." And he starts to share his story. And at the end of that story, this random Russian guy on the couch that he's never seen before looks him in his eyes and says, "You're going to be on stage with Tony Robbins one day." The kid said, "Who's Tony Robbins?" He had no idea who Tony was. He had no idea what business was. He had no idea what speaking was. And that kid said, "I will work for you for free. And if you like the work we do, maybe one day we'll start a company together." 5 years later, 2 7-figure companies and touring with the big man, Tony Robbins. That kid was me. And I say that because I wouldn't be on the stage if I never got in the room. Someone say, "Get in the room." Someone say, "Get in the room." I would never be this far in life if I've never got in the room and learned from people who have the life or the results that I want. And sometimes it takes a different person from a different walk of life to see a gift in you that you didn't see in yourself. True or false? How many of you have ever had a mentor, a coach, or someone, a friend that saw something that you were really good at and you never saw it? Just show of hands. Right? Because you got in the room. Now, they were talking about identity. I heard it backstage. Now, in order to become the next level, you have to upgrade your identity. And one of the greatest ways that you can upgrade your identity is proximity. I want you to notice. Is getting in rooms with people who are richer and smarter than you are. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to get rich slow, I'm trying to get rich fast. Who's with me? Anyone? So I'm trying to condense speed. Success rewards speed. Someone say speed. Someone say speed. I'm trying to go fast. And so I'm always willing to cut a check or get in a room with people who are way further ahead than me so they can condense time. That was the first moment. The second moment was about a little over 2 years ago. It was my dad's birthday. Now, my dad is the type of dad who lets me know it's his birthday before I get to call him. Like, he called me, he's like, "It's my birthday." I'm like, "Dad, I'm in bed. I didn't even wake up yet." I was getting there. And I said, "How are you? You're getting old. How's everything doing?" Right? I said, "How's the family?" They're great. Your sisters are doing great. Your brother Michael, he's doing amazing. I said, awesome. Is there anything I can do for you? No, just keep me in the loop. I said, awesome. Dad, if you need anything, just call me. It's your special day. Go enjoy it. And I hung the phone up. And about 2 hours later, I get a FaceTime from my dad. I picked the phone up. Nick, he's gone. He's dead. Dad, what do you mean he's gone? Who are we talking about? Your brother. Me and your mother are at the crime scene. Your brother OD'd. He's at my feet. He's dead. They robbed him. He's not coming back this time, buddy. And he said, I don't have the strength to tell your sisters. Can you tell them for me? Whew. Yes, sir. Click. Picked up the phone. Called my older sisters and said, hey, Mike's no longer here. And Dad wanted me to relay the message because he's not in a good spot right now. And I share that because I have trained my brain to ask specific questions. You see, your brain is a problem-solving mechanism, and it's always going to give you an answer to the questions that you ask it. The truth is, most of us going around asking terrible questions. And so I would like to give you a few questions that changed my life, and if you can anchor these questions, you will always find the gift in every situation. If that's okay, say yes? Yes. The first question that I asked myself when I hung up after I found out that my brother overdosed, he was dead, he was no longer coming back. The first question that I trained my brain to ask in that moment was, who am I going to become because I'm going through this? Noted. Who am I going to become because I'm going through this? Who do I get to become because I'm going through this? The second question that I ask is always, what's the gift? Nick, find the gift. What's the learnings? What's the lessons? What can you pull from this? Because would you agree, what's wrong is always available. But what's right is always available as well. I want you to write this down. The gift is there if I want the gift. The gift is also there if I'm ready for the gift. You may not be ready for the gift yet. And so those are the two questions that I ask myself. Who am I going to become? And what is the gift or what is the learning that I'm going to get from this experience? The first thing that I learned was that, wow, maybe I could be a man and step up when my dad couldn't. You see, as a man with no legs of an arm, there's a lot of times where I don't feel like a man. I can't pick my girlfriend up and carry her around. We can't do long walks on the beach or long runs on the beach. Maybe these are limiting beliefs. I need to coach myself. But a lot of times I don't feel like a man. And although my brother passed, it gave me a great gift because I was able to step up and be a man when my dad couldn't. And that was a great gift that I got. The second thing, the second learning, the second gift that I got from that moment, that my brother's suffering was over. His battle was over. Is anyone in this room affiliated or know someone that struggles with addiction? Put them high and look around the room. This is your family we're talking about. Look at the room. It's all of us, most of us. Everybody knows someone. And so my brother's struggle was over. And in that moment I decided, someone say decision. I made a decision that I will master psychology and pursue mastering psychology so no one has to suffer like my brother did. That's my purpose. That's why I'm here. Those are two defining moments. Thank you. Appreciate that.